This is the OnePlus One, the perfect balance between performance and price in a consumer smartphone. But it's technically not out yet. Since I got my hands on one and this is a gaming channel, I might as well show you how games run on this thing. Spoiler, it's pretty great. This phone is a powerhouse, running a Qualcomm Snapdragon 801, which is a ridiculous 2.5 GHz quad-core processor. The display is a gorgeous IPS display, which I've never heard of on a smartphone screen before. Basically, IPS displays are what photographers and videographers and other artists use to show true color at a wide viewing angle. It's also what Apple uses in their iMac displays. The resolution is a reasonable 1920 by 1080. There are a couple of YouTube videos claiming 4K gaming on this thing, which is just false. It's clickbait. The screen obviously won't allow for it, and there aren't even games on the Play Store that are true 4K, nor should there be. On a 5.5-inch screen, what would it matter anyway? This phone's camera is a 4K camera, but the screen's resolution is only 1080.
God damn it.
It scores very high on the 3D Mark test, so this phone can run pretty much any Android game you could throw at it. The OnePlus One ranks among high-end Android tablets, and just a few spots under the Nvidia Shield, which is a pretty big deal considering it's just a smartphone. The touchscreen is very responsive, especially in a game like Trials Frontier. I'm usually not one for on-screen controls, but they work pretty well in a game like this. I found myself favoring the on-screen controls over my Moga controller most of the time, just because it's quicker this way to just pick up and play. The on-screen controls in Real Racing 3 are pretty solid too. Not to mention the graphics, which are pretty gorgeous for a cell phone game. And loading times are virtually non-existent. Modern Combat 4 is basically impossible without a Moga controller. The default controller sensitivity is pretty much abysmal from the start. For some reason it didn't save my settings from the last time I played. I'm not playing Modern Combat 5 right now because what the hell's the difference? I already spent $7 on this garbage, so why the hell should I have to buy the new one? Are the graphics even any better? Because they sure don't even look. RetroArch works as it should. Ever since some update they had a few months ago, I haven't been able to get my Moga controller to work with it. But the on-screen controls are okay. Playing Super Smash Bros. On my old piece of shit Galaxy S3 was the stuff of nightmares. The whole thing was slowed down to a crawl, and the characters were sometimes rendered with no faces. So this is a substantial improvement. There is a noticeable slowdown, but I would chalk that up to the N64 core in RetroArch, and not the phone. Because this baby can run Jedi Academy without a hitch. That's right, these are GameCube level graphics. Some guy made a port for Android devices where you just plop in 2 files from your PC or Mac version of the game, and it just works. This is what I've been doing on my daily commute recently. For the time being, this has essentially replaced my 3DS. I mean, probably not for long, but it's pretty rad that I have one device that can do everything. Oh yeah, in case you forgot, this thing can make phone calls and stuff. How's the battery life? Well, I started this video at around 79%, and after about an hour of gaming, I'm now at 69%. I have never killed the battery on this thing in one day. I play about an hour of games a day, in the middle of the day, and it barely even makes a dent on the battery life. All in all, this phone is a great gaming device because it's fast, powerful, responsive, gorgeous, and perhaps most importantly, the battery life is insane. The OnePlus One allows you to game for extended periods of time and still be able to see and ignore your girlfriend's phone calls. The battery is a pretty substantial 3100 milliamp hour battery. It takes up a decent amount of the real estate on the inside of the phone, which I'm surprised most phones don't do that these days anyway. What do you guys think? Does this phone restore some of your faith in the mobile gaming market? Are there any games you'd like me to try out on this thing? Leave it in the comments below. Add me on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Like us. Share this video with your friends. After playing around with this thing, maybe I'll do a video on some of the best Android games. You're just gonna have to subscribe to see that. Thank you very much. Have a good week. This game came out in 1998 for the Nintendo 64. But the next year, when The Phantom Menace came out, the developers released a code that would unlock the Naboo Starfighter. So the developers anticipated the game's release and programmed the brand new ship into the game's code. How's that for DLC? I have noticed that Marvel, they will totally just randomize their release dates for comic books.
There's no order.
Super annoying. Like
There's
DC,
no order.
it's the same week every month.